Hey YouTube, this is Mia Tate. I'm here to do the review for Heart and Hustle Houston Season 2, Episode 3. We start off where we left off last week with Chloe and Jordan. They were at the restaurant. He was trying to have a dinner for her, and then they got into it about her talking to his mom. And he gets up and walks out. And I thought he was gonna come back and maybe sit down and have a conversation, but no, he got in his car and he actually left. So then she gets on the phone and does what? Call his mama. Isn't that what y'all just got into it about? And so she's on the phone with his mom. His mom saying, "Well, I don't even tell him what we talk about." So I don't know. Uh, we didn't see Jordan for the rest of the episode, so I don't know where this leaves them at. Next up, we see Ro, Toria, and Manira meet up. Ro is trying to get Toria and Manira to have a conversation to find out like what's the issue between them because they haven't been Manira hasn't been talking to her either. We know that Manira and Sabrina are really good friends, and it seems like Manira has picked a side. So she gets there, and basically it was pretty much a waste of time. Manera pretty much took Labrina's side. Not pretty much. She took Labrina's side on everything. She said when Toria brought up the issue about calling somebody precious, she said that that wasn't how Labrina meant it. And she said, well, people call other people like people say I look like Royce all the time. Girl, you know that's different. But uh also the whole on my level thing, she said that's not how Labrina meant it. So it was a waste of time. Rose said that she felt like the group should seek therapy again, meet up with the therapist again and try to, resolve the issue. But they did call her out, especially Rose. Rose was like, do you do you hold your friends accountable? Did you tell her she needs to apologize? And they was like, why would I tell her that? I'm not gonna tell her that. So she don't. Her name is Bennett, and she ain't in it. She really don't want to have nothing to do with it. And I mean, I guess I could see it. I guess, girl. I don't know. You just should have told him you ain't want to go to lunch because that was a waste of time. You got a free meal out of that in your screen time. And so, um, next we see a family picture, portraits with Manera and her beautiful family, her husband, her three kids, and her mom. And her and her husband have two together or three together, two together, I think. And then the oldest young lady is his child, but she said they've been together so long that she, Maria said she's just like her. So it was beautiful, um, seeing they were all dressed in beautiful gowns and it's very very pretty, beautiful beautiful family. Manera say, y'all if it's not mess up my reputation over here messing around with he say she say I don't care. So Chloe and Tori meet, and Chloe tells Toria about her date with Jordan and how everything went left and what he said about her talking to his mom. And she's like, well, he should have never introduced me. You know me talking to your mama. You should have never you should have never introduced me. And then she's like, Chloe said in the confessional, I don't care how old they are, if what she said, I don't care how old they are. I'm gonna call your mama and ask her to talk to you to put some get right, together. And I'm like, girl, for what? Why are you calling a grown man's mama about what he's doing? That's not gonna make him straighten up. You're a grown man. And not to mention that, just like a lot of women sometimes think, oh, if I become good friends with their mama, then that's gonna make him treat me right. No, it's not. he gonna do what he want to do. So um, Toria did tell her, it kind of is giving like, are you are you treating him like a man, or are you treating him like his mother or something? Like you having to call somebody to correct him on what he's doing. And she said, yeah, I guess I see what you're saying. I hope so, Chloe. Chloe, stop talking to that lady like that. That's not helping. That's not going to help him be the man that you want him to be. The only thing that's going to help him be the man that you want him to be is if he wants to. Ain't got nothing to do with his mama. Okay. Next we see Toya. She's at her dad's house, and we know that last season they showed her dad passed away. He was a police officer and a pastor, and her god sister Cece came over because she was helping her pack up because Tori has decided to sell the house, and she said that it was a really difficult decision, and she found some of his sermons while she was looking through things, and she also discussed that in 1998 her mother left her with her dad, and when she was 10 years old, and I'm like, wow. So that's really hard. She said she really not even sure. She never got straight answer from her mom on why she left. But um, she said that they do talk now, but she doesn't feel like her mother is able to be um, like a mother to her. She just doesn't feel like she has that in her. And she said her mother has apologized for being mean to her, when she was younger. And she said that she feels, she's been to therapy. Victoria said she's been to therapy. And she said she feels like because she feels like she has a lack of love, that sometimes it leads to her over loving people and being there too much for others. So I could see why she said that. But yeah, that was pretty heavy. Um, then we see Alana at home with her two children, and she said that her and her husband was Josh. Is that his name? Josh. They were together uh, 21 years. I think they were married 21 years. Is that what she said? I think that's what she said. They were married 21 years. Um, I'm, I don't, I don't know, something like that. I think she said 21 years. And then their two little kids. This the cutest kids, a boy and a girl. And so um, she was, talking to them about, saying that she loved them and that, even though the family, their dad, they weren't together anymore, that, both of them still love them and, that they are their priority. But she did say in a confession that he's not returning her phone calls. So I don't know. But she said she got a lot going on, and that's basically all she's been doing is trying to deal with her business and her family. And she said that Ro had called her and invited her to another therapy session, and she told her, that right at this point she can't do that because she has too much going on, and that's understandable. So next we see Manira and Labrina. Labrina goes over to Manira's house, and they are talking about Manira said that she met with the group and she felt like nothing was resolved. No, nothing wasn't resolved, Manira, because you was taking up for your girl. Did you tell your girl how hard you was going for? She was going for you hard in the paint, Labrina. Um and she mentioned that, Rose said that the group should have another therapy session. And Labrina was like rolling her eyes. She was like, I don't see for what. They need individual therapy. They don't need she said this group is toxic. They don't need individual therapy. They need individual therapy, not group therapy. So Monero was like, well, I just at least want us to be able to come together and to at least have a discussion because at the final dinner when they were at the winery, she said it seemed like everybody was able to get along, and I just wish we could have that again. So next up, we see the session, Miss Sylvia. Let me tell you something. Miss Sylvia looked like a real nice lady, but Miss Sylvia, you can't handle these ladies. They need somebody else. They need somebody. I don't know who they need, but they need somebody a little bit tougher because they walking all over Miss Sylvia. Miss Sylvia trying to get her their attention. She trying to get them to to not interrupt each other, and it ain't working. Okay, because that's a strong group of ladies. They all have their own opinions, and honestly, I don't know what was going on. Ain't nobody that looked happy to be there. All of them walked in with a bad attitude. Chloe walked in, looked like she was mad. Manera walked in, looked like she was mad. All of them. And then we didn't really know if Labrina was going to show up because she had told Manera she wasn't interested. So the first to get there was Ro. Then Tori came in. Then Manera came in, and then Chloe came in. And then a little bit later, Labrina walked in. Basically, this was just a waste of time. Nobody is taking accountability. Um, Labrina is still trying to say it was Chloe who said that about Precious, where we clearly see on camera that it was not. At first I was thinking, okay, maybe she really forgot that she said it, but it seems to me she's just trying to save face. She don't want to apologize for saying it because then that would have her admitting that she did say something like that. And she's still on the whole y'all not on my level, I didn't mean it that way, but she ain't apologizing for nothing. So Toria said, I don't have a problem with you. I just have a problem with some of the things that you said. And that's kind of my trigger. And so the therapist asked Labrina what her trigger was. And she said, lying. I don't like when people bold face lie. Girl, you just told a lie and say that Chloe said that by Precious. What you talking about? And she started to get defensive and saying that Toria was delusional. Look, I try with Sabrina, I really do, but she is vicious. She is very vicious. When she feels like she don't get her way, she really strikes out, and that's a very. I honestly don't see why these ladies. I don't see them going forward. Labrina talking about she wasn't going. Girl, you want that check, right? That's why you showed up. You want that check, okay? Because I don't understand. Just get off the show because I hope we're not doing this. I like this show, but I don't want to do this the whole season. I don't want to do all this back and forth. Either you in or you out. Let's introduce some new ladies to the show. Labrina, if you gonna have that attitude, and the only person that you really gonna talk to is Manera, uh, um, then just get off the show. Why are you here? Why are you here? So next week they're gonna finish the session, and I guess we're gonna see if there's gonna be any resolve. And Manera, she's sitting there the same thing, still taking up for Labrina. But that's not what she meant. The girl, you can go to. You can exit left too. You, Manera and Labrina, y'all both can go on and go somewhere because what are we doing? Y'all not trying to resolve. Y'all ain't admitting nothing. No, Sabrina is not wrong about anything. She's perfect, and Manira, you just backing it up. So y'all need to just get on and go somewhere. Because to be quite honest, y'all not interesting enough together to have too many scenes. Eh, eh, Y'all just not. You ain't. So we gonna see what's gonna happen next week. Hopefully they come to some kind of resolve. I don't feel too optimistic that they will. I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen to this show because, like I said, we're on the third episode, and if by the next episode they haven't resolved this, then just don't even show Labrina no more. Just do like Alana. Just take out the picture. Anyway, thank you all so much for listening to my review. I appreciate you taking the time to listen. And I will be here next week for the next episode. You guys have a great afternoon, and I'm out.